at the Sudan conflict and now turn our attention to the rescue efforts of South Africans caught up in the conflict in the Horn of Africa. And to give us an update now is the founder of Gift of the Givers, Dr Imtiaz Sooliman. Dr Sooliman, thank you very much for your time. I've just had a conversation with a professor from the Tshwane University of Technology, Amira Osman, who's a Sudanese national, but describing a very, very depressing situation on the ground in Sudan. How are your efforts to try and evacuate South Africans there going?
I mean, it's going very well, Paul. What the lady describes is exactly correct. It's very heartbreaking. We're not there, but I mean from the feedback we're getting from South Africans, and I've been to that country, previously. What is heartbreaking is to see people from the same country tearing each other apart, and in the process tearing their own civilians apart, bringing down hospitals, infrastructure, water, roads, causing mayhem, tanks and heavy artillery in the center of cities, fighting street battles in your own country. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's totally illogical. And what the lady is saying is correct. They need to bring a ceasefire and put them at a table together because, as they say, when elephants fight, the grass gets trampled. Those people are really, really suffering inside Sudan. There are three aspects to the evacuation program. The first one is we took 2 buses on Monday, got 38 South Africans to the border on Tuesday. 8 of them were held back because they didn't have any documentation. They couldn't cross from the Egypt side. They waited 26 hours before they could be taken across. We had to wait for the South African diplomatic staff to come through. They got stuck because of the Eid holidays. There were no flights, so by the time they came and got everything sorted out, those people waited 26 hours. But in any case, those 38 are safe and sound in Aswan, as I talk to you now. On another route, we had nothing to do with this, but 11 South Africans went to Port Sudan, either on their own or the company sent them or somebody took them to Port Sudan. And they were stuck there for 3 days. They couldn't leave. Behind the scenes, a lot of discussions were taking place, calls were being made, networks were being created, and with some of the decisive calls, yesterday morning, they got a message, please come to the boat. And now I just get the message right as I'm speaking to you from Jeddah. They've been received by the Consul General in Jeddah. They're across.
Yeah.
The third one is the problem. We put up a bus for additional 8 South Africans who were left behind on Monday. They didn't get the message. So we put up a bus for them. It left yesterday. The day before. It got to the border yesterday. And from 9:30, they've been waiting to come across. Now, there's a problem here. First of all, right as I'm speaking to you, we can't find them. We don't know where they are.
Sure.
We lost communication with them at around 10 o'clock last night. All the phones have died. And from last night to this morning, we thought maybe they're having a good sleep somewhere. And this morning, as our teams get there, we can't find them. We've asked assistance of the Sudanese authorities, the border guards, people around, anybody who knows. Our diplomatic staff have gone across the border. We may have to go into the country and call other people in the country. It's possible in a coffee shop, I don't know, or sleeping somewhere, or caught up anywhere. But it's 2.5 hours now. We can't find them, which is very, very unusual.
Dr Sooliman, let's conclude the conversation with this question, because you've described quite a number of efforts, I think about 3 evacuation efforts. The understanding is that 77 South Africans were being evacuated from Sudan. So the group you are talking about, are these the same people, or has that first group of 77 people reached South Africa now?
No, it's the same group, but it's not necessarily 77. The numbers are not exactly correct. 38 is part of it. The 11 that went across, that's part of it. Another one individually got to Jeddah on his own. About 6 got to Ethiopia. 5 got to South Sudan. 3 got to Djibouti. And there's quite a few who decided they're not coming back. I spoke to 3 of them, and they're saying they're not coming back. So it's around 70, 72, around that figure exactly. And now some people are getting back on the chat. They say, I'm home, I'm in Cape Town, I'm here, I'm there. But altogether, those figures that I'm giving you is a combination of those coming out who've come out in different routes and some who decided to stay.
Wow. And the kind of help that you may be calling for at this stage, what do you need in order to help those that want to come home?
To come out? No, they don't want to come out. Whoever wants to come out is out. I have to call on other governments now to help their own nationals. The biggest problem is many people don't have passports. And if you don't have passports, it's a nightmare at the border. So there's lots of civilians from lots of countries All the diplomatic missions are closed. They got no consular support. They don't have passports. They can't get out. There's no bank functioning. There's no money. There's no food. There's no jobs. They need to get out. And you need the consular services of those countries, like the South African ones, came all the way from Cairo to Agin. And now today they had to change direction and to go to Ashkat because the border closed, the one that we used on Monday. We had to use another one yesterday. Complete change of direction. They drove for 8 hours yesterday. Missed the ferry last night, waited till this morning, took the ferry, went across, and finally got to the border. They need consular support. All governments should look at doing something to get those people out because they are really battling.
Founder of Gift of the Givers, a humanitarian organization. Thank you very much for your time, Dr.